Good morning, students. Today we are going to start another phylum, that is phylum Annelida. What is the peculiarity of this phylum? They are composed of coelomate animals. Coelomate animals means those animals' body contains coelom. That means body cavity. So animals having true body cavity, they are annelids. And they also show clear sign of segmentation. That segmentation is present in this annelida. Then origin of the term annelida, how it come? It come from Latin and Greek, and also annelida. That means that term is its meaning is that a little ring. That part comes from Latin. And eidos we already know that it is a Greek word, and it means that form. So a little ring form, that is the origin of type. That term origin from Latin and Greek. From the Latin annulus it came, and it means that a little ring. So a little ring like constriction we can see in the body of annelids. Common examples are earthworm and leeches. Then there is a contrast in its length, means very small organisms are there under Annelida, and very elongated species also there. So, for example, Australian giant earthworms, it lengths 3 to 4 meter, but smallest microscopic annelids also exist. That's the contrast in the size. Coming to silent features. Regarding the symmetry, what is the symmetry of this annelids? That the image appearance of the earthworm should come to our mind this time. Then think about what's the symmetry. Bilateral symmetry. And body is triploblastic. Triploblastic means this term we have heard so many times to the course of the before chapters. Then what is triploblastic? Consists of three layers: ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. Then body form, how the body appears. It is cylindrical. Then again think about earthworm. Elongated and vermiform. Vermiform means worm-like. That is regarding the body form. Next, body layers. I already told you something about body layers. Before that, I'm going to tell you segmentation. Segmentation is otherwise called a metamerism. What is metamerism? That can be assessed 1 mark question for your examinations. Very important. Metamerism. And metamers means segments. Each segments in the body is called metamers. And what is the direction of segmentation? Segmentation happens from anterior to posterior direction. So that segments start to develop from anterior end to posterior end. That is the direction of formation. And here the segmentation is there both externally and internally. Externally, we know that if we observe an annelid, we can see the body divided into many segments. And internally, also segmentation is there, means segmentally certain organs are placed, paired organs like nephridia, paired blood vessels, paired segmented ganglia. They are all present or repeated each segment and segment. Okay. And the adjacent segments. The nearby segments are separated by certain partitions called septa. Coming to again body layers. Body layers outer side there present a cuticle, and that cuticle is secreted by the epidermis. And below that a middle epidermis is present, and below the epidermis an inner longitudinal layer of muscles are present, and then below that a dermomuscular layer also present. In that way is the layers of the body wall, the cuticle, epidermis, longitudinal layer of muscle, and then a dermomuscular layer. Then what is setae? Kete, not setae, kete. Kete means there are some bristle-like substance, chitinous. It is formed of chitin, chitinous bristles projecting from the epidermis. What is the function of this kete? It helps in locomotion. Locomotory function is that of for kete. Coelom. What is coelom? Coelom means to body cavity. And here that coelom also separated by septa. Coelom of each segments are separated by septa. Not each segment. Coelom itself is separated by so many septas. And the coelom itself is filled with a fluid called coelomic fluid. And that coelom itself is lined externally by a parietal layer and internally by a visceral layer of coelomic epithelium. Coelomic epithelium, it has the visceral layer. That layer lines the inner side of the coelom. So once more, coelom to body cavity, and it is filled with the fluid. Externally, it is lined by parietal layer, and internally, it is lined by visceral layer. Regarding parietal visceral layer, we will learn more about these things when moving to the later part of this chapter. Then digestive system. Digestive system is a straight gut with a terminal mouth and terminal anus. Sections of the body. That's important. Three separate sections are there. Because again we need to take the image appearance of tomb in our mind. Three separate sections are there. Peristomium. Peristomium means peristomium spelling Peristomium. Peristomium means first segment. Then beyond the peristomium is trunk segment. So many segments are there. And towards the end, last segments, it is called pygidium. 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 Posterior end of the body. And that pygidium carry the anus. And one more term is there. At the anterior end of peristomium. Peristomium means first segment of the body. Then the anterior end of peristomium possesses a fleshy dorsal lobe. It's covered by a fleshy dorsal lobe. It is called prostomium. Prostomium. Prostomium is present. So which are the things? Peristomium, trunk segments at pygidium, and then peristomium have an anterior fleshy lobe. It's called prostomium. Then blood vascular system is prostate. Prostate means blood circulation happens through blood vessels. Excretory organs. Excretory organs composed of metamerically arranged. Metamerically arranged means in each segment these excretory organs are present. They are called nephridia. And we are going to see which are parts. This is the septa that divide each segments, and the nephridia, it has a stome is there. It is an internal ciliated funnel-shaped portion. And after that, a preseptal canal means a preseptal canal that seen before the canal. So that's called a preseptal. Preseptal before septa. There's a canal. That's preseptal canal. Then after the septa also another canal is present. It's called postseptal canal. Then nephridian extended region and it opens outside the body through an opening called nephridium. And this type of the nephridia is present in each body segments for the purpose of eliminating the waste. Then nervous system. Nervous system means it consists of an anterior nerve ring. Consists of an anterior ring with a brain. See, the brain otherwise called cerebral ganglia and circumpharyngeal connectives are there. Two branches that join and later form this cerebral ganglia. And below that, a subpharyngeal ganglia is present. From this subpharyngeal ganglia, the two connectives are originating. Then in each segment, separate ganglia are found. And from that ganglia, nerves are emanating to different body parts. It's about nervous system. Here is another image of that brain. Here we can see. As I told you, that is a ventral nervous system. It is running towards the ventral, running through the ventral side of the body. It's the digestive system, the other one. Then coming to respiratory system. For respiration, there is no specialized sense organs. And then how the gaseous exchange happens through body wall, appendages and gills. Then reproduction. Reproduction means it is sexually then gonochoric or hermaphrodite. Gonochoric means sexes are separate. Hermaphrodite means both sex structures, both male gonad and female gonad are present in same individual. And also they show that regenerative capacity, then budding and also stolonization. Stolonization is Stolonization. Stolonization means one or more stolons. It is otherwise called stems that contain developing gametes. Developing gamete bearing some stems are called stolonization. Then development. It involves a larva stage called a trochophore larva. It's very important. It may ask for examination as a question. So far 12,000 species have described. Classification. Annelids are classified into Polychaeta, Oligochaeta and Hirudinea. And in this classification, this Oligochaeta and Hirudinea, they possess a special structure called cletellum. Cletellum is just like a girdle. Girdle means aranyana. Possess cletellum. And so, because as these groups or Oligochaeta and Hirudinea possess that cletellum, Cletellum, cletellum. They are called cletellata. They both otherwise together called cletellata. Okay, then we are going to first class, that is class Polychaeta. Its members include sandworms, tube worms, clam worms, etc. And which are the characteristics of Polychaeta? Regarding the appendages. Appendages are well developed. They are paired. Paired means one on either side. Paddle-like. That appendages look like a paddle-like. And then habitat. Habitat means it's a habitat. They occupy the habitat is of marine and also of fresh water, and they can be seen in terrestrial habitat also. Then what about its habit? There are burrows. Burrows means they burrow in something. Then or can all crawl over something. They can swim and also they can secrete and occupy in tubes developed or secreted by them itself. Then segmentation. Segmentation also present is also called metamerism. Then coming to setae. Setae means it is present and that setae is usually present in parapodia. What is parapodia? That we will see later. Then since they have so many setae, that's why it is called polyketae. Then reproduction. This is the body wall and in there's no permanent organs, permanent sexual organs are absent, but during the breeding season some swellings are happened in the form of buds, and in that buds gametes are forming, and these gametes are shed into the body cavity, and from the body cavity enters to the nephridiopore, and through the nephridiopore it is passing towards the external environment for fertilization with its opposite sex. Okay. Then fertilization, what's the status? It's external fertilization is there, and the development is happens through Prokofiev larvae. Since now 8,000 species have recognized. Common examples are Nereis, Polygodius, Aphrodite, etc. Mm, Next, we are going to learn about Nereis. This is the Nereis. So many parapodias we can see here. These are the parapodia, elongated body. Um, Regarding the habitat. Habit means it is marine. They are found in marine environment, and they are benthic means attached with something in the bottom. They are polychaete worms. Polychaete means we are having so many chaetae, and its common name is sandworm or ragworm. It is an intertidal animal. Intertidal animal means they occupy in those areas which are exposed to uh, tides, high tides and low tides. And that area is called intertidal area. Why it is called an intertidal area? Because during high tide, that space is covered by water, and during low tide, it is exposed to sun. There is no water. So that area, that place, we can say it as it is an intertidal, because that area is between high tide and low tide, means that area is the exposed area, that is subjected area to high tide and low tide. During high tide it is covered with water, and during low tide it is not covered with water. Instead of that, it is exposed to sun. That area is occupied by this type of forms, and fishermen use this nereis as a bait to catch higher fishes. They live in burrows and only for feeding they comes out. And coming to the body features, body is long and slender. I already shown you that image. And also ventrally flattened also, 5 to 20 centimeter its length. Its length is about 5 to 20 centimeter, and color light violet to red color. It can vary from light violet to red color. Body surface has a tinted color, means a gradation. It's not a single color. Instead of that, a gradation of color is present, and iridescent shades are there. Iridescent means a rainbow like shade is present on the body surface. um, and also true segmentation. two segmentation also present. It's called metamerism, and body is divided into head, trunk, and pygidium. And also I already told you main body parts divisions: head, trunk, and pygidium. Head means anterior, that segment peristomium, then trunk, and then pygidium. Then coming to the head. Head is divided into two parts. That's first segment is called the peristomium, and it is covered by a fleshy lobe called the prostomium. And the peristomium, okay, well, I'll tell you later. This is the prostomium, this one, fleshy lobe, and it carries prostomial tentacles. Here we can see prostomial tentacles are there, a pair, and this is the first segment is called peristomium, and it carries how many pairs? Four pairs of peristomial tentacles. Four pair means totally 8 tentacles are there. Four pairs are there. Then minute eyes also present. Some conical pulp. Here this is one pulp, and this is another pulp also present. And these are the features regarding its head. Okay, then we are going to see about the parapodium. Very, very, very important. Parapodium means, what is parapodium? In this picture also we can see this extended bristle-like structures are called the parapodium. What are they? They are certain appendages like structure where it is seen in the trunk. In each segment bear a pair of appendage. That appendage like a pair structure present in each segment is called parapodia. But the head and pygidium, head means anterior region, pygidium is the posterior region. That doesn't have any parapodia. What's the function of this parapodia? It's helping the locomotion. And largest parapodias we can see towards the middle segments. Then we are going to see its features. Parapodium. This is the structure. Is very, very important. You should learn to draw also this picture. And there is a basal part is there for parapodium, and distal part is there, and it's a dorsal half is a bilobed, two-lobed structure, and it's a dorsal part is called notopodium, and the ventral part is called the neuropodium. And towards the dorsal side there is a probe. It is called the dorsal cirrus. Towards the ventral side another one is called ventral cirrus. And among the setae, one is very thick and long. That thick long setae that present inside the parapodium. These are the setaes, other setaes. But one is very thick and elongated. It is called aciculum. And also these setaes are organized inside a sac called setigerous sac. These are the parts of parapodium. So the setae. I think it's very clear. Parapodia, once more, is the basal part, distal part, and it is bilobe. The dorsal part is called notopodium. Ventral part is called the neuropodium. And dorsally there is a probe which is called probe. It is called the dorsal cirrus. And ventrally also there is another probe called dorsally it is called dorsal. Ventrally it is called the ventral cirrus, and each lobe possesses a cluster of setae, and one of the setae is very thick and elongated. It's called the aciculum. Parapodium. Then we are coming to the body wall. Coming to the body wall, what's the features? Body wall is covered by a thin cuticle, and below the cuticle present a single layer of epidermis, cuticle epidermis. Then below the epidermis a muscular layer is there, and below the muscular layer parietal epithelium is present. Okay, then again that muscular layer is there below the epidermis. That muscular layer itself again divided into outer circular layer of muscle. Then below that an inner longitudinal means it is arranged. Then muscle cells are arranged longitudinally. That's what it inner longitudinal layer of muscles. And below that an obliquely arranged layer of muscles also there. Three layers inside the muscular layer itself. Again, three distinguishable way of muscle arrangement. They are outer circular layer of muscle, inner longitudinal layer, and below that an oblique layer of muscles also there. Body of Nereus. Yeah, body of the Nereus is like a tube within a tube-like appearance. This is inner tube, and this one is the outer tube. Okay. The wall of the this is a cuticle and external covering. Cuticle is there. Then it's an epidermis is here below the cuticle, and below then epidermis muscle layer is there, and these three constitutes the body wall. And this is the inner tube, and it is a continual passage of the gut. So it is lined by gut wall, and in between the gut wall and the body wall present the cavity, that is coelom. So again I'm going to show this is the outer tube, this is the inner one, and in between outer tube and inner tube this is a space called coelom, and that coelom is externally covered by parietal epithelium of outer tube, and internally that coelom is lined by the outer covering of inner tube, that is visceral epithelium. And the coelom itself is again partitioned by so many divisions, partitions, again partitions. It is called septas. So that's about the body wall. Next, circulatory system. Regarding circulatory system, it's a closed type of circulatory system. And then digestive circulatory system. Before coming to digestive system, we need to go through the digestive system. Digestive system I am going to show you. It starts from mouth, buccal cavity, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, and rectum. There's a specialty regarding mouth and buccal cavity. Um, sorry, buccal cavity and pharynx. This buccal cavity and pharynx together form a special structure called proboscis. It is reversible, means it can be protruded towards outside. So reversible proboscis is formed by combining the buccal cavity and the pharynx. And in the pharynx there is two jaws also present, reversible. It also reversible, helps in feeding. It's a digestive system of Nereus. Circulatory system, I already told you that it is a closed type. Excretion happens with the help of nephridia. It is paired, present in a pair is present in each segment. Then nervous system. Nervous system, anteriorly there is cerebral ganglia, brain is present, and double ventral ganglionated nerve cord, means previously in that picture I have shown that regarding the nervous system, what to anteriorly that cerebral ganglia or brain is seen, and that brain is connected by two circumpharyngeal connectives, and that connect is joined at subpharyngeal uh, ganglia, and then it runs towards the end of the body, and each segment carries segment wisely a ganglia. There's a arrangement of nervous system. Then reproductive system, it is gonochoric, means sexes are separate and the gonads are indistinguishable. There is no gonoducts. There is no ducts or a channel to liberate that sex cells towards the outside. Fertilization is external, and the larva is called a trophophore larva. Then coming to heteroneres. Heteroneres is very, very, very important. It also can be asked for our examination. Heteroneres is nothing. It is the sexually matured nereis. It is called heteroneres. In the beginning of the lifetime of the nereis, it is not a reproductive. It doesn't have any reproductory organs. That stage of nereis without any reproductory organs is called atoc stage. Atoc means atoc spelling ATOK, atoc stage. And then on reaching the sexually mature stage, certain changes happens in the body, and sex cells are budded off and form a mature heteroneres. So this heteroneres have for that this heteroneres possess an anteriorly immature region and a posteriorly mature region. Mature region is called the atoc region, and the sexually mature posterior region is called the epitoc region. That's about the heteroneres. And what is epitoky? Means that fertilization. Epitoky means the transformation, that change in which an atoc means immature, totally immature form is transforming to a sexually mature heteroneres form, epitoc form. That transformation is called the epitoky. And during that phase, what are the changes happening? Uh, Changes happen with respect to reproductory parameters, and also with regard to non-reproductory aspects. Which are the changes? Regarding the reproductive aspects, gamete production and sexual maturity happens. Then regarding the non-reproductive structure, what happens? Enlargement of eyes happens, parapodia modification happens, and the segments enlargement also occurs during that phase. Then how their reproduction is happening? uh, and after reaching sexual maturity, that epitox moves towards the surface of the water, moves for reproduction. And then what that sex cells are shed to the external environment, and then fuse together synchronously. This synchronized behavior results in their reproduction. Synchronized means that happens at the same time. So during the time of reproduction, the epitopes coming to surface of the water, and they simultaneously shed off their eggs and sperms, and in the external environment is fusion, union happens, and fertilization happens synchronously, means at the same time. That's about the fertilization. Then coming to trophophore larva, very, very important. Look its appearance shape wise. It's a anterior side is more broader and posterior is more narrower. So oval or pear shaped structure as anterior and broader. This is narrow, and this is the gut digestive tract. It is curved, somewhat curved, and a mouth is present. It is near the midventral line of the body. That mouth is present in the midventral line of the body. Um, the mouth leads into a where is it? When transversely located esophagus. Esophagus is there. Then stomachs curve round towards the narrow end as the intestine, and is opens at the posterior end, at the posterior tip of the body as the anus. Then two prominent bands of cilia are present. It is called um, prototroch. Prototroch means it is a double circlet of strong ciliary band pre-orally means before the mouth. So they are called prototroch. Prototroch is there. It encircles the body around the middle just above the mouth. It encircles the body in the middle just above the mouth. They are called prototroch. Then behind the mouth, another second circlet of cilia is present called the telotroch. Before that, I am pointing protonephridia. Paired protonephridia is there. No metamerism, no segmentation is present with regard to trophophore larva. And a apical sensory plate is present, and also it have so many cilia called apical cilia. And then coming to the posterior region, there is also another circlet of cilia is called the telotroch. Prototroch here, the telotroch is seen towards the posterior end. It's about the structure of the trophophore larva. I think it's very clear to you. Once more, its anterior end is more broad, posterior end narrow. Then oval or pear shaped. Its gut is curved, opens starts with mouth, esophagus, intestine, and opens out by anus. In the medial part, there is a double circlet of cilia called the prototroch just above the mouth. And in the posterior side also another tuft of cilia present is called telotroch. Then apical side there is a sensory plate, and it has some is a tuft of cilia called apical cilia is there. No metamerism is found in regarding the trophophore larva. These are the points. Okay, with this we can finish this class. Thank you.